Picture this. You're stranded in the vast open ocean, waves crashing around you. Exhaustion setting in, and the feeling of being utterly alone sinks deep into your chest. Then, out of nowhere, sleek gray figures emerge from the water dolphins. They don't leave, they circle you, staying close, as though guarding your fragile body. Some even nudge you gently toward the surface, while others form a protective ring around you. At first you might think it's just coincidence, but then you notice something else there, keeping their eyes fixed on the shadows beneath the waves. Suddenly, you realize that you're not just being observed or being protected. But the real question is, why would dolphins, wild creatures with no obligation to humans, go out of their way to help us? Dolphins are known for being among the most social animals in the sea. They don't live solitary lives, but instead thrive in pods, which can range from just a few individuals to over 100. Within these pods, cooperation isn't just helpful, it's essential for survival. Dolphins work together to hunt, raise their young, and even protect one another from threats like sharks. Their ability to coordinate as a group means that when danger arises, they can act quickly and effectively. This strong social bond within their pods could be the very foundation of why they extend similar behavior toward humans. After all, in their eyes, a human struggling in the water may not look all that different from a vulnerable dolphin in distress. What sets dolphins apart from many other animals is their intelligence. Their brains are large relative to their body size, and their cerebral cortex, the area responsible for problem-solving and decision-making, is highly developed. Scientists have long marveled at their ability to use tools, recognize themselves in mirrors, and even learn aspects of human communication. But beyond raw intelligence, dolphins display something far more intriguing: empathy. They can recognize when another being is in distress, and they often respond with what appears to be compassion. So, when dolphins protect humans, it may not be a random act, but a result of their extraordinary ability to understand and respond to emotions. Consider how dolphins behave with their own kind. When one dolphin is sick or injured, others often support it by swimming alongside and helping it to the surface for air. This caregiving behavior is well documented in scientific studies, and it shows a level of care that goes beyond survival instinct. When dolphins apply this same instinct to humans, it suggests they view us as part of their extended circle, even if we don't belong to their species. It's as if they see us as vulnerable pod members who need their protection. The question then becomes, are they consciously choosing to help, or is it simply second nature to them? One of the most famous dolphin stories comes from New Zealand in 2004. When lifeguards training off the coast were suddenly surrounded by a group of dolphins, at first the lifeguards were confused, but soon they realized what was happening. A great white shark was circling nearby. The dolphins tightened their formation, pushing the humans into the center and refusing to leave until the danger passed. The lifeguards survived that day, and the story became one of many accounts where dolphins put themselves at risk to shield humans from predators. Such stories raise an extraordinary point. Are dolphins acting on pure instinct? Or is there deliberate decision-making behind their bravery? Sharks, after all, are natural threats to dolphins. Despite their agility and strength, dolphins aren't immune to shark attacks, especially younger or weaker individuals. To counter this, dolphins have developed defense strategies that include forming protective circles, using their speed to confuse predators, and even ramming sharks with their strong snouts. When they display this same behavior around humans, it may simply be a case of applying the same protective tactics they would use for one of their own. In other words, dolphins could be extending their shark defense playbook to include us. Yet, not all dolphin rescues involve sharks. In many cases, dolphins have helped exhausted swimmers reach shore or kept drowning people afloat until help arrived. These acts go beyond predator defense and suggest something deeper. If dolphins only acted against sharks, we could chalk their behavior up to instinct alone. But when they actively guide humans to safety, the explanation feels far more intentional. It points to the possibility that dolphins recognize humans as fragile beings in an environment where we don't naturally belong. And in those moments, they step in to do what we cannot do for ourselves. Scientists remain cautious, however. Some argue that what we perceive as rescue may sometimes just be curiosity. Dolphins are naturally playful and inquisitive, often drawn to unusual behavior in the water. Struggling humans splashing about may simply capture their attention, prompting them to investigate. In some cases, what looks like a rescue might actually be dolphins satisfying their own curiosity. But can curiosity alone explain the countless documented cases where dolphins clearly shielded humans from predators or pushed them to safety? Skepticism lingers, but so does awe. Another explanation centers around empathy. Studies suggest dolphins may be capable of what psychologists call theory of mind, the ability to recognize that others have thoughts, feelings, and needs different from their own. This is a rare trait in the animal kingdom, and one often linked to complex social behavior. If dolphins can perceive our struggle and interpret it as distress, then their protective actions might be born from a genuine sense of compassion. They might help us not because they gain anything in return, but because they recognize our vulnerability. To fully appreciate this possibility, it's worth noting how dolphins interact with humans outside of emergencies. Divers often report dolphins approaching them playfully, bringing them objects, or even mimicking their movements. In some parts of the world, wild dolphins have worked alongside fishermen, herding fish toward nets in exchange for the leftovers. These cooperative behaviors suggest dolphins not only recognize us as beings, but also see potential relationships with us. If cooperation is possible in daily life, then protection during danger may simply be another extension of this interspecies connection. There are even accounts of dolphins protecting other species. For example, seals have been observed receiving dolphin assistance when pursued by sharks. This shows that dolphins' protective instincts are not limited solely to their own kind. Instead, they may be drawn to help any vulnerable creature they perceive as needing assistance. This broad sense of empathy challenges the traditional view of animals as driven purely by self-interest. Dolphins seem to operate on a higher plane, where empathy influences their choices. But what about the risks? When dolphins step between humans and sharks, they expose themselves to potential injury. This is not a small sacrifice. Sharks are formidable predators, and even a dolphin's speed and agility may not guarantee safety. Yet dolphins still do it, time and time again. The willingness to put themselves at risk for another species raises profound questions. Do dolphins understand the danger? And if so, why are they willing to face it? This willingness hints at a moral compass that scientists are only beginning to explore. Let's not forget that dolphins have cultures of their own. Different pods exhibit unique hunting techniques, vocalizations, and even play behaviors passed down through generations. Culture in many ways is what allows humans to create shared values and rules. If dolphins also have culture, could it be possible that within some pods, helping others, humans included, has become a shared value? If so, this would explain why dolphin rescues have been reported across different oceans and cultures, not just in isolated incidents. Of course, not every dolphin interaction with humans is positive. There have been instances of dolphins displaying aggression, especially when provoked or harassed. This serves as an important reminder. Dolphins are wild animals, not mythical guardians. While their protective behavior is extraordinary, it should never be taken for granted or romanticized to the point of carelessness. Respecting dolphins as wild beings is crucial if we want these interactions to remain safe for both sides. Despite the occasional risks, the majority of dolphin-human encounters remain remarkably positive. Many people who have been saved by dolphins describe it as a life-changing experience, altering their perception of the natural world forever. For them, dolphins are not just animals, but heroes of the sea. These powerful stories spread across cultures, feeding into legends, folklore, and even modern-day admiration. They remind us that compassion is not uniquely human. It thrives in unexpected corners of the animal kingdom. Some scientists argue that dolphins' actions may also be influenced by their playfulness. Dolphins are known to play with seaweed, surf waves, and even ride the wakes of boats. To them, almost everything can be turned into a game. It's possible that helping humans is, in some way, part of this playful exploration. But if it were only a game, why do so many cases end with dolphins clearly saving lives? The evidence suggests their actions cannot be reduced to playfulness alone. Another layer of this mystery lies in dolphins' communication. Dolphins use a complex system of clicks, whistles, and body movements to share information. Some researchers believe they may even have unique signature whistles, akin to names. When dolphins gather around humans in distress, Are they communicating with one another about what to do? Could their coordinated rescues be the result of collective decision-making? If true, this would mean dolphins not only recognize the problem, but actively discuss the solution. The stories continue to pile up. Surfers shielded from sharks, sailors guided to shore, and divers kept afloat by dolphin pods. Each story strengthens the belief that dolphins truly care in ways we struggle to define. For some, these encounters feel almost spiritual, as though dolphins act as guardians of the sea. For scientists, the challenge is to move beyond awe and find concrete explanations. Yet even with research, the mystery remains unsolved, leaving room for both wonder and science to coexist. Ultimately, whether dolphins protect humans out of empathy, instinct, curiosity, or cultural value, the result is the same. Countless lives have been saved. The fact that dolphins, with no obligation to us, choose to step in during our most desperate moments is nothing short of extraordinary. It forces us to reflect on our own species. If dolphins can risk their lives for creatures outside their kind, what does that say about the boundaries we draw around compassion? And so, we are left with a powerful thought. Dolphins may remind us that empathy is not confined to humanity. It is a universal force that binds life together in the most unexpected ways. Their protective acts blur the line between instinct and choice, leaving us to wonder if dolphins see us not as strangers, but as part of something greater. The next time you look at the ocean, imagine the possibility that beneath the waves swims a guardian ready to act, not out of obligation, but out of compassion. And maybe, just maybe, that tells us something profound about the hidden bonds of life on Earth.